So before we begin today's stream, we're going to be talking about this Pragmata situation, which this is something that I've been seeing across social media. If you guys remember, we recently did a video on Crimson Desert where I talk about this. I talk about how there's a lot of people to whom actually playing video games is just an annoyance that they feel they have to engage in order to then go and do some performance on social media saying how indignified they are about a specific decision that somebody made on a video game. Crimson Desert, I feel like, really showcased this. But like I said in my previous video, this is something that has been happening pretty much since COVID, where people kind of like found communities online talking about video games, and they got like a lot of engagement talking about video games, and they just crave that engagement online, and therefore they just like say stuff that might not even make any sense. So today we're going to be going over this article from TheGamer by Stacey Henley, and she says, gaming cannot allow Pragmata's Diana fan club to flourish. We can't allow people to enjoy playing Pragmata and being fans of Diana. Okay? Let that sink in. So, oh, come on. Don't do me like this, Avery Media. Get your crap together. I don't really mind people finding video game characters attractive. If I did mind, it would be hypocritical. Do people get weird about it and take it too far sometimes? Absolutely. But then, that's the same for pop stars, actors, cartoon characters, and just real-life people that we find attractive. It just happens. It's like, this, by the way, is something that has happened since the beginning of the internet. People finding characters attractive, or whatever. You could argue that weird attitudes towards characters are more frequent in video games. No, they're not. Says who? Who says that weird attitudes towards characters are more frequent in video games? Where's the data on this? Why would you say this? But that might just be that you have a greater interest in video games, I assume, unless you stumbled here from the pop star, and therefore you see more of it. You could also argue it tends to be a bigger deal in video games, no it's not, where the culture war is incessant and where the fictional hyper-designed nature of character models tends to be seen as a win or a lose for each side of this entirely imagined divide. But it only matters as much as you care about it. I, a woke video game journalist, humbly declare that Eve from Stellar Blade is hot. Okay. This is commonly agreed upon, yet often fought over. Why? I'm not sure why. I can't believe we're bringing back the Eve discourse, which for those of you that weren't here for that, what happened when Stellar Blade came out is that there was like this huge boycott from a lot of publications were like boycotting the game, saying like, oh, it's just hyper-sexualized. And then there were people saying like, this is completely unrealistic, no woman can look like this. And then it comes out, basically this was scanned from was it a Korean model, I think? This was like body scan from a Korean model, so absolutely someone does look like this. The clothing and the outfits were also designed by a woman. And, you know, basically like everybody that was talking trash about Stellar Blade and Eve came out of that thing looking really fucking bad because it was just like really dumb talking points. There still is this narrative that people say that Eve has no personality and stuff like that, and I completely disagree. Like, I don't understand how you play the story and you're just like, oh, Eve has no personality. Eve's just there to be a sex bot, blah, 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 but whatever. The issue becomes when this is the primary reason for playing, which quickly becomes a toxic tar pit wherein you start to convince yourself and are convinced by your immediately like-minded surroundings that this is the only reason games should exist. Clearly the biggest problems that we have in games like, for instance, Doom, is the fact that there's attractive characters on it. I think that's the biggest issue. I think, you know, usually whenever I'm playing Doom, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, can't wait to rub one out thinking about that crazy looking demon. Yup. That's yes. It's like, you can clearly tell that this person doesn't even like video games. They don't. They just don't like video games. This is just about writing something to get clicks for the purpose of the culture war. Like, straight up. No ifs, ands, or buts. But whatever. We continue. This, I suppose, is why we fight over Stellar Blade. I personally fought over Stellar Blade because people were saying the game was shit because it was all about the main character being hot, when in fact we got a game that was like really mechanically satisfying. The story was also pretty cool, and I just, it was just overall a really, really good game. But instead, people just wanted to talk about, skimpy outfits, and whether or not said skimpy outfits had been nerfed, and whether or not the character of Eve was over-sexualized. And it's like, it's just such a weird thing to even argue about, but whatever. I might say the game is a little shallow, that Eve lacks personality, that the mix of gun and melee combat doesn't work for the more epic bosses it attempts to serve up. And here's what I say when you say all these things. Skill issue. But this would be received by some as merely, bro, can I please, for the love of all that is holy, not explode my computer over this stupid article? But this would be received as some as merely making excuses to cover for the fact that I hate beautiful ladies. No, actually, I'm just saying that you're making excuses for the fact that you don't like video games. It's all a bit silly when it's framed like that, but it becomes more serious when these sort of attitudes pervade popular gaming discourse. These conversations, often by design, make the community a less welcoming place for those who don't think the sole and primary purpose of video game is to serve up hot women. Wrong! Wrong! This makes the community less welcoming place for those who don't want to play video games and just want to interject themselves into the discourse when they don't actually want to engage with the medium. That's the issue that a lot of people like you run into. You want to talk and make up all of this random bullshit and start up fights with the culture war to generate clicks and all of this bullshit. But the reality is, you don't actually want to play video games. You want to talk about video games. You don't actually want to play them. And the thing is, most gaming communities can tell. They can sniff you out from a distance. They can be like, oh, this person clearly does not enjoy video games. Therefore, I clearly don't care for this person, and I don't give a fuck what they think about video games because they don't want to play video games. Do not get things confused. Do not get things twisted. The gaming community, you need to understand. Because I feel like a lot of people were not here back in, the late 90s, beginning of the 2000s. Well, I'm talking about in Portugal, probably in more developed countries that were further ahead in terms of technology and stuff like that. And you guys, this type of stuff probably happened earlier. But for us, telling other people that we liked playing video games was like a fringe thing. This was not something that you would openly talk about with most people, saying oh man, I really enjoy this video game, I really enjoy this thing, because you would be ostracized. You would be ostracized socially for enjoying video games. I'm not exaggerating. I know that nowadays, people that are younger, you guys are in gaming community and stuff like that, and you can't even fathom a time where when we would talk about video games, we would actually be ostracized by our social circles. But that's the way that it was. Back in the day, that's the way that it was. And because we lived through that, it's very easy for a lot of us to identify people who are into gaming and people who are not. And that's the way that it goes. So it's not that gaming communities are not welcoming to people who think that the purpose of video games is not to serve up hot women. It's more that gaming communities start getting less and less welcome to people that just want to interject themselves into gaming discourse for the purpose of drumming up clicks. Nobody likes getting farmed, and the gaming community is no different. So, anyway, she then continues, the response to Pragmata's Diana cannot be normalized. The response that I've been getting in my stream whenever I play Pragmata is people talking about how, oh, look at Diana, she's so cute. Diana's so, oh man, I want to protect her. We must protect her at all costs. Like, that's, for the majority of interactions that I have in my stream, that is usually the overall reaction to Diana. I just want to let you guys know. Okay? This is very important that you all understand. This type of response of you guys wanting to protect this robot that looks like a little girl is completely unacceptable and cannot be normalized. Okay? We can't do that. In the run-up to its release, Reddit banned a Pragmata subreddit because of its content. Reddit removed Pragmata subreddit sexualizing that. Yeah, there's a bunch of subreddits that are a complete fucking cesspool. Guess what? That's never going to change. And it has nothing to do with Pragmata directly. Like, for instance, if somebody decides to start a subreddit, imagine like they capture my face, maybe even in AI, they capture my face, and they start a subreddit that's just called Ruri Sucking Dick. And it's just somebody superimposes my face onto porn, and it shows my face sucking dick on a subreddit. That might be something that happens. Now, me personally, I have no control over this, just like the people in my stream that are enjoying the streams of Pragmata, and, you know, we talk about Diana like, oh, we must protect Diana, etc. We have no control over the fact that some fucking sicko made a subreddit where they're sexualizing Diana. These are two communities that have literally zero intersection. The Venn diagram is like two separate balls. Okay? But of course, this person finds like some fucked up content on the internet. I'm shocked that there's fucked up content on the internet, by the way. This is something that I would have never expected. You know, the internet and fucked up content, this never happens. And somehow, this is the fault of the developers and the communities that enjoy this video game. But okay, even with gaming communities being infamously toxic, this is a rare occurrence. Well, at least they admit that it is a rare occurrence. And also, I take offense to the fact that gaming communities are infamously toxic. Let me just say this, okay? I interact with gaming communities on a daily basis. This is a gross overgeneralization. There's a minority of morons out there, which is true for pretty much every single community in existence, online or otherwise. Every community's got a scumbag somewhere. 1, 2, maybe 10, depending on the scale of the community. There's always a bad apple in there. Always. And this overgeneralization that I constantly see about gaming communities being infamously toxic, because here's the thing. People always call out the toxicity of gaming communities. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, like, a bunch of years ago, Matt Pat did a video talking specifically. Matt Pat's not even, is he still even around? I don't know, but I know that he kind of like retired from his YouTube channel or whatever. But like, Matt Pat made a video specifically talking about this because this was during a time where everybody was once again saying how toxic gaming communities are. And in that video, he goes into great depth telling people how much gaming communities have raised for charity, for, you know, helping out children, hospitals, the amount of like work that gaming communities do, you know, positive stuff. Like, they're crazy. Gaming community for that specific year had generated more money for charity than any other community in the world. But you know what the thing is? Those things don't drum up clicks. If you were to make an article that says, oh, this year the gaming community has contributed, I don't know, fucking 10 million for cancer research, or for St. Jude's, or for whatever other charity that gaming community contributed to that year. That is not an article that generates clicks. And because of that, nobody wants to talk about that. What they want to talk about is gaming communities are infamously toxic. Okay, why? Where? How? It's just, bro, it's like the whole thing where people start saying gamers TM, and gamer words. And it's like, no! Like, what gaming communities are you people interacting with? Like, what are we talking about? This is absolute nonsense, dude. It's I swear to God, because like I said, I literally work with gaming communities. I live stream, I make content for gaming communities, I interact with gaming communities on forums, on my Discord, with other creators' gaming communities. There's so much positivity in the gaming community, and yet the overall notion that people have in the world at large is that we're all just like a bunch of fucking toxic neckbeards in our mom's basement or some bullshit like that, bro. Oh my god. Anyway, r/pragmata _ was shut down due to Reddit's Rule 4, which refers to sexually explicit content of minors. Once again, some people being fucked up online, I am shocked. Absolutely, positively livid. Pragmata stars a childlike android Diana, who was the focus of this explicit content. This is not an isolated case either. One of the moderators of the main Pragmata mod stepped down because they were sick of all the pedo shit, while the community at large formed r/Pragmata Safe for Work, specifically founded to escape the Diana content that had become rampant on the main subreddit even after the ban. Reddit is far from the only place you'll see people sexualizing Diana. It seems like it seems like you've become somewhat of an expert on this topic. What? Let's just call it research, right? You were researching for the article, and that's why you somehow keep running into locations where people are sexualizing Diana. Because I somehow managed to exist in this planet ever since the release of the game, and before then, without ever running into any sexual material for Diana. I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of weird, but for this person, she appears to be finding this shit everywhere. Like, she literally cannot open her browser without seeing an overly sexualized Diana. Anyway, Steam forums are full of open discussion of her attractiveness, including but not limited to lusting over her feet and wishing for mods that allow players to dress or undress Diana in more appealing ways. Funny how there's no screen grabs or any. It's just like, oh yeah, people on Steam, they're fucked up in the head. They're doing some fucked up shit with Diana. Do I have a screen grab? No, nothing. I got nothing. It happened. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, sure. Capcom has not helped itself in this regard. Recently offered a Twitch emote of Diana crying in a pose extremely similar to a well-known lolicon meme. Let me show you guys the offending Twitch emote. It's this. Cryana. The Cryana Twitch chat badge. Somehow, people looked at this image and concluded that this was a PDF file dog whistle. You guys remember that time where 4chan did an op and somehow people were not allowed to use this symbol anymore because it somehow got linked to white supremacy or some other bullshit, and like if you did this was like some white supremacy dog whistle or some bullshit like that? You remember how all of that was just a bunch of bullshit made up by 4chan? They just wanted to see if they could actually get people to report on this, and they got a bunch of people to report on it? Not saying that's the case for this. I'm just saying, like, if you look at this, okay? If you look at this icon, and literally the first thing that comes to your mind is like some PDF file dog whistle, I'm sorry, bro. It's time to go outside. It is. Like, you are so terminally online that you can't be saved. Like, I'm sorry, there's just no saving you. You're done. Your brain is beyond cooked. The only thing is like a 2-week detox from the internet so that you can unplug yourself for a little while and realize that a lot of the shit that happens on the internet is just straight up not it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's like, bro, like when I saw this, I was like, are we really having this conversation right now? It's just like, what are we doing? What exactly are we doing, dude? But anyway, in a pose extremely similar to a well-known lolicon meme. I should also mention this person appears to be quite the expert on all of these topics. Note, Diana is barefoot because she charges through her feet, and while it does convey childlike innocence to most players, the meme makes it harder to view this design choice through a lens which gives the devs the benefit of the doubt regarding which audience they are catering to. So I want you to really pay attention to this note. What exactly is this person implying with this sentence? They are implying that the developers specifically made a conscious decision to have this video game appeal to a target demographic of PDF files. Like, if you read the note, that's literally what she's saying. It makes it harder to view this design choice through a lens which gives the devs the benefit of the doubt regarding which audience they're catering to. Which, if you've been paying attention to the trends within gaming, the only thing that has been happening is developers have been casting the widest net that they possibly can. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Here and assume that a majority of gamers are actually not PDF files. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being crazy. I don't know. I highly doubt that a majority of gamers are in that category. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what this person is implying. She is saying that the Capcom team that worked on this game is trying to appeal to a sexually deviant audience. What has struck me the most with this is the boldness of it all. I'm not so naive as to be shocked by some of this behavior, nor am I ignorant to the fact that there are some bad people in bad corners of the internet. Are you sure about that? Kind of feels like you are. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But that's just it. They aren't in corners anymore. It feels like Pragmata signals a normalization of this approach to gaming where everything exists to be sexualized and anything that cannot be sexualized is acting in service of a nefarious agenda to fundamentally shift society towards wokeness. What am I reading, bro? But wait. Trust me, guys, you ain't seen nothing yet, because this gets better. Pragmata goes beyond the culture war. There was a similar sort of cheap discussion over Stellar Blade, but at least there, the woman being objectified was a woman, not a child. That does make it better, even if it doesn't necessarily make it okay. And even games like Baldur's Gate 3, typically viewed as being on the left of the... See what I mean? To these people, everything is like, which side of the culture war are you on? Let me tell you which side of the culture war Sven Vinka and his team are on. Let me tell you which side of the culture war Larian Studios are on. They're on the side of the we don't give a fuck. Because they don't. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is not taking a stand on the culture war and stop trying to co-opt it on either side of this moronic culture war. Dude, this is so fucking... Oh my god, bro. Anyway, has a thirsty fandom that discusses characters in a woobified, hyper-sexed way that, especially in the case of Asterion's post-launch narrative development, can be to the game's detriment. I love how she's talking about, like, oh yeah, Asterion. Why don't you talk about, like, what was his name? The Druid and the bear sex scene. I'm very curious to see what your culture war analysis is on the topic of the Druid assuming bear form and having sex with the protagonist character. Actually, I'm not interested in your opinion on that. I don't give a fuck. But all of this, the entire culture where everyone is beautiful and no one is horny, is a far more intellectual discussion about how we approach and react to modern media. Yes, that's what we had with this article. An intellectual discussion. There is a battle between those who wish to over-sanitize media, considering sex scenes to hold no narrative weight, to even be intrusive to a viewer's sensibilities, and those who have flattened culture down to be nothing but a magazine wrapped in black plastic and sold on the top shelves of newsagents. Is this still a thing? Is this a porn reference? I don't know. But it's kind of besides the point to delve into this when the subject of the battleground is an actual child, fictional or not. I just want to point out, all of these things that you are talking about, while, like you've clearly pointed out, there are some bad people in bad corners of the internet clearly getting off to this material. Absolutely, I completely agree with that. There are some. There are likely a small minority of really sick, fucked up individuals, and not a majority of gaming communities that you so eloquently portrayed as infamously toxic. But it's like the majority of people are not like that. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And now we come to the most important part. I have not yet played Pragmata. That's why this article had to be written. Because this person had absolutely nothing of consequence to talk about when it comes to the actual video game itself. The mechanics of the video game, the story of the video game, the art style of the video game, the technicality of the video game, the performance of the video game. There's actually not a single actionable, useful metric from the video game itself that this person can engage with, and therefore the whole discussion is about, the sexualization of the childlike character that fucking Joe Bob and Tim Bob were talking about on fucking 4chan. This is a huge problem for the entirety of the community. Well, thanks. Thanks a lot for signal boosting Joe Bob and Tim Bob on whatever random ass fucking subreddit you found these people talking about how they want to rub one out to Diana's feet. Thank you for signal boosting that. And then applying it as a label to the rest of the fucking community, you absolute brainlet of an idiot. Anyway, she continues. I have not yet played Pragmata, and that's because I'm a little tapped out on stories where men adopt daughter-like figures and prove their masculinity by protecting them. I suppose it's marginally a better power fantasy than killing everybody with your awesome strength, but then The Last of Us makes room for both anyway. Last of Us 1? Absolutely. If I play Pragmata, and Capcom's post-launch attitude towards the Diana fandom will be a major factor in this. It won't be because I find the child at the center of the game attractive. Thank you for pointing that out. It's good to know that you are absolutely not a PDF file. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. I hope gaming can get back to a place where, if it's too much to hope that these people cease to exist, that at the very least, they don't get to be so proud of it without consequence. You guys remember the starting point that I made when we started reading the article? There's a bunch of people that don't actually like playing video games. They just like engaging in gaming discourse and fomenting division among the gaming communities. That's her. 1,000,000%. Like, straight up. Because when you write an article this big about all of the things that mean fuck all in terms of the actual game itself, it's just like some gross overgeneralization based on 2 or 3 people that you interacted with online that are disgusting individuals, and you just decide to grab literally the worst possible label that you could find on a couple of people online, and you just apply that to the more than 1 million people that have purchased this video game. You just decide, yep, I saw 2 or 3 fucked up people on Reddit, plus 2 or 3 fucked up people on Steam, and I'm going to apply this label to the 1,000,000+ individuals that have purchased this video game, and just make the obscene generalization that all of these people are PDF files, and they're only playing this video game to look at Diana's feet. It's quite frankly disgusting, but beyond disgusting, it is disturbing. It is disturbing that somebody who is supposedly a journalist has this view of the world that supposedly the people that you are making articles for, you just straight up believe that most of them are absolute fucking degenerates of the worst kind. It's just pathetic. Like, this is just pathetic. And the thing is, I chose this article, but I've been seeing so many fucking Twitter posts on this topic that it's just been absolutely disgusting. It is non-fucking stop with these people. Like, look, here's another one. This person, Mary Morgan. Lots of strange reactions to this game. Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have paternal instincts the same way that childless women have maternal instincts. We observe this even in the way little girls play versus little boys. Before we even go any further than this, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have a lot of friends that do not have children. Most of them know my daughter. I would absolutely trust each and every one of them to protect my daughter in any circumstance. If I was not around and my daughter was in danger, all of these people would absolutely come to protect my daughter. And it's not because of me, because I would already be dead. It's just because it's just a natural instinct. It's like, this isn't rocket science. Anybody who has literally any relationships with anyone, I'm not talking about like a section, I'm talking about like a friendship with like actual true friendship. You would be aware of this. What are we talking about? It is insane. It is absolutely insane. This person's already been community noted, but it's like, to say that men don't have paternal instincts, you're crazy. Men are not nurturers. You should ask my daughter about that. Men don't gush over cute kids in public. Men don't have baby fever. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he is likely a predator. And if you'd be taking the feminist, radical, gender abolitionist position to protest any of the above points, this should explain why a dad simulator game marketed to mostly childless men gives people the creeps. These people... Terminally online does not begin to describe these people. They're past that. They're past being terminally online. I don't know what comes after terminally online, but these people have gone far above being terminally online. There's no coming back. These people are not coming back to reality anytime soon. These people are fucking insane. They're fucked up in the head. Like, they're just nothing. There's just nothing that's there. Either that or it's just performative outrage. It's likely just performative outrage, and I'm taking the bait. It is likely just performative, because that's what it's all about nowadays. Performative outrage, clearly a blue checkmark account. How many impressions on this fucked up thing? What are we looking at? 3.3 million views? Yep, they're making bank on this. Like, they're getting paid. Like, this post gave her exactly what she wanted, which is like, hey, I'm gonna make a fat buck on this fucking post. Boom. Fuck these fucking childless men. Fuck them. They're all creepers. Every single one of them. How dare you like this video game about you protecting a small child robot? How fucking dare you, you creep, you PDF file. People have no fucking idea. Men absolutely yearn for families if they don't have one. Absolutely 100%, 300%. This person is just straight up fucked up in the head, just like the other one before. So both Mary Morgan and what's-her-face, Stacey Hanley, these are both two people that are just fucked up in the head, that have like this really fucked up vision of what men are like, and likely have no experience actually talking to a single fucking male person in their goddamn lives. This is absolutely pathetic, and it's absolutely performative, because neither of these people have actually played the fucking video game. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. It's fucking just... Gaming discourse is absolutely fucking pathetic. And the worst part is that me talking about it achieves absolutely fuck all. It's just frustrating as hell to read this shit day in, day out. Like, because, you know, I understand that at this point, it's likely hard for people to even remember. We used to have meaningful gaming discourse. That's why we're like, Brewery, why do you keep running into these things? Because we used to have meaningful gaming discourse on social media platforms. We'd actually be talking about like, oh man, did you see the art style on that thing? Oh, that's really cool. Oh, what about the, you know, the puzzle solving elements? How'd you like those? Oh, I don't know, man. Sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming when they're charging at you and you need to like dodge and do this thing and the other thing. And it's like, all of that discussion about the actual nuance of playing a video game, about whether or not you enjoy the story, about what... Everything gets fucking co-opted into this meaningless, fucking useless culture war, and that's all it's about. It's all it's about. It's about culture war, whether it is about femininity, whether it is about wokeness, whether it is about this or that. And in between this, we've lost 90% of nuance of gaming discussions. You guys are like, you know, people are still having those discussions online. Yeah, they're getting drowned out by algorithms. You don't actually see those people because it's not controversial enough. And that's the part that really frustrates me. Like, I just want to talk about fucking video games, man. I just want to engage in good faith with people talking about mechanics and things that are interesting to me. And this is all I fucking get. Every time a new fucking game comes out, it's some fucking bullshit. You guys think I'm exaggerating? I'm not. You go back to like every single new release that we've had in 2026. Like I said, 2026 has been absolutely fucking stacked year when it comes to the release of video games. And it's all about the culture. Like 90% of the discourse is from people that don't play the fucking video games, and they're just coming up with the most diarrhea, vomit-inducing fucking opinions that they came up by reading some random ass person on fucking Reddit of all places. And that's how they formulate their whole opinion. They come up with these super divisive articles that get billions of views because they're controversial as fuck, and they get picked up by every fucking algorithm under the sun. And that's what we fucking get for gaming discourse, is these fucking people. I'm just fucking sick of it, man. Fuck this. Like, you wanna know the frustrating thing? You see shit like this and it gets like millions of views. If you put it into video form, it gets like hundreds of thousands of views. And in the meantime, here I am like, where's the Carnage video on this? And it's sitting fucking somewhere with almost no views to it because it's not controversial enough. Like, where's the opinion of actual fucking gamers? People that actually play the fucking thing. Getting drowned out by all this fucking bullshit. Fucking pathetic, dude. Can we choose not to engage with this bait note? No, we can't. We fucking can't, because every goddamn algorithm in every single fucking social media platform shoves this shit in our face non-stop every fucking day. You can't have the nuanced discourse anymore because it's not popular enough. It doesn't actually get pushed on to people's feeds. All you get is this.